Good morning, everybody. Rise and shine. Ready or not, let's do this. This is a ridiculously early morning webinar to get your day started off right, whether you're ready for it or not. There's a little bit of mindset, a little bit of business sense, something for your MLM, network marketing, small business, brick or mortar, online or off. Whether you're a newbie, a seasoned veteran, or somewhere in between, there is something here for you. Good morning. My name is Mina. I'm coming to you from New York City, out in the borough of Queens. I created this webinar series to push myself out of my comfort zone and to share with you my experiences as I continue to grow my business online. Let's grow into success together. Morning. There are always two parts to this webinar. There's going to be a mindset moment where I share a lot of mindset gems, a lot from John C. Maxwell, as he is my favorite mentor. And there's always a business sense tip or a business sense moment of things that you could apply to in your business. So that is the format of this webinar. So it is Monday, another Monday. It is January 26, 2015. Imagine how fast this month is going. It's going really quickly. And if you live in the East Coast, you know that we are awaiting an impending blizzard, snowstorm with really ridiculous amounts of snow. So I imagine that you are getting yourself ready for that if you live on my side of the nation. But you know what? All is good. It all helps to build character, and we just go moving forward. So for today's mindset moment, we're going to talk about motivation. Since it is Monday, and Monday is usually dedicated to mindset and to motivation, and do you have trouble staying motivated? I know a lot of us do, myself included. How do you stay super motivated when you have all these things that you need to get done? You have deadlines to meet, and you have perhaps extracurricular activities outside of your job, or you're building your own business and you're trying to achieve your dream, but it's very difficult to stay motivated. So I hear you, especially on a Monday morning. Would you rather we will rather hit the snooze button and hide under the covers. But we got stuff to do, things to see, places to go. So it's essential to stay motivated, and it's essential to stay motivated each and every day. So I'm going to share with you 4 points that I found on an article written by Simone Reynolds. It's on Forbes.com, and he shares with us 4 steps to staying super motivated. Ready? All right. Let me look at my notes. And the first step is to make a genuine commitment to personal excellence. Now, if you are working in a corporate job and you have things to do, and you have your colleagues to do, they also have things to do, and everybody's there to get their job done, but they don't necessarily put in their whole best into it. Now, if you want to stay super motivated, it's important that you commit to personal excellence, no matter what. No matter if everybody around you is just being plain mediocre and just getting through the day. But if you commit yourself to personal excellence, and you commit yourself to doing the best that you can do each and every single day, that is going to work wonders for your motivations. It's going to really up the ante in feeling your personal best. For example, say, okay, let's take you out of the corporate environment and put yourself in your own business. You're building your business each and every day, and you are committed to writing blog posts each and every day. And so you want to be able to have your blog posts inspire others to also start their own businesses. So you got to think about, okay, what can I do? How can I write a blog post that's inspiring to others so they can build their own business? So in order to be able to write a blog post as that, you got to do a lot of research. So you got to commit your personal best to doing the research. And it all comes down to what we had started to talk about last week, where you're going to have to create some goals and make them measurable and attainable. So if you say, I want to write a blog post, well, let's say not every single day. Let's say I want to write a blog post twice a week, and I'm going to upload my posts every Tuesday and every Thursday. And then I need to find out what I need to write about, what I'm going to write about, what I'm going to publish on Tuesday, what I'm going to publish on Thursday. And once you define those, you say, okay, what kind of research do I need to do so that I can publish this blog post on Tuesday and this other blog post on Thursday? And so you start to get organized and perhaps keep an Excel spreadsheet of your research and the titles and the dates that you're going to upload your blog posts. But you are thinking of everything you need to do to put your best blog post forward, which includes adequate keywords and tags and the proper SEO that you need to put in to make sure your blog post reaches the people that you want to reach. And so that is, in essence, putting your best foot forward. Because it's simple to write up a blog and just throw it up there and not put any keywords or SEO. And SEO is search engine optimization, for those of you who are unfamiliar with that. And just put it up there and hope that somebody's going to read it. But that's not putting your best foot forward. That's not putting all your effort in to do an effective blog post. Because if you want people to read your blog post, you got to put your all into that blog post, not just writing it, and also setting the time to write it. So that's just an example of making a genuine commitment to personal excellence. And of course, this could go, if we go back into the corporate, that also can apply to how you do your job in corporate. You're given a project and they ask for a deadline. You give a deadline, but you also give yourself some cushion because you want to give in the project before the deadline. And when you do that, I mean, you don't tell them that I can do that in so-and-so. You give them a deadline, but you want to make sure you give yourself some cushion so you can give that project before the deadline. And that way you can push yourself and commit yourself to personal excellence. So that is number one on how to stay super motivated. The number two thing to stay super motivated is to focus on your strong points. A lot of people tend to beat themselves up on their weak points, on the things that they cannot do, when they can do so many more things. So it is best to focus on your strong points. Spend at least 2 minutes every morning. This is on suggestion by Simon Reynolds, the author of this article. Spend 2 minutes every morning writing down your strong points. Don't focus on your weak ones. Focus on your strong points. And this list you can carry around with you and look at it, during the day when you're just feeling a little bit, off whack, to see your strong points. And that is going to serve as motivation to move forward and to stay super motivated. So things that you can write about, your experience, your training, all your positive attributes. Focusing on your strong points every single day is going to help you stay super motivated. And write them down, put them on pen and paper. That's number two. Number three, to staying super motivated, is to see yourself as unstoppable. Now, when you start to imagine yourself as unstoppable, and you start to pretend that you are unstoppable, imagine what you can do when you realize that you are unstoppable. Imagine that you have obstacles and monkey wrenches that are thrown your way, but you are seeing yourself as unstoppable. Well, I'm unstoppable, so despite this impending snowstorm, I'm still going to be building my business online. What are the things I can do to continue to build my business online, even though there are these huge obstacles coming my way? Because I am unstoppable. And when you say those things out loud, you're telling your brain, you are unstoppable. You're going to build your business no matter what because you are unstoppable. It even helps to take a Post-it note and write the word unstoppable and put it right by your computer. And if you are working in an office environment and you don't want people to, see that Post-it note, you can put a big U on that Post-it note and just put it by your computer so only you know what that means. You are unstoppable. So see yourself as unstoppable. Keep thinking yourself as unstoppable, and your brain is going to give you creative ways to plow through your obstacles and so that you can get things done. And the fourth thing to stay super motivated is to congratulate yourself every evening. And that is essentially taking 2 more minutes and writing down your accomplishments of the day. What were you able to get done today? What are your strong points? What were you able to do and get done? And congratulate yourself on getting those things done. And what are you thankful for before you go to bed? And so this is going to cement everything in place and get you super motivated to start the next day. So congratulate yourself every evening. Write down what you got done and get yourself motivated for the next day. So in summary, the 4 things that you need to do to stay super motivated is to, one, commit yourself to personal excellence. Two, to stop beating yourself up over the things that stop beating yourself up over your weak points and focus in on your strong points. Number three is to see yourself as unstoppable. And number four is to congratulate yourself every evening. Those are 4 points to stay super motivated. And I will leave the link below so that you can go and look at this article and even more amazing articles to keep yourself super motivated on this Monday morning. So that is the mindset portion of this webinar. And now you're going to start realizing that these webinars are going to get a little bit shorter. I realize that 30 minutes might be a bit too much for a replay. So I'm going to cut my webinars down to 15 minutes. Now, in the near future, I'm going to have special guests on these webinars. And with a special guest, of course, the webinar will extend more because there is a creative banter going on between myself and the special guest. But for now, when it's just myself, it's going to be like a 15-minute or 20-minute webinar. So we've done the mindset portion, and now we're going to move on into the business sense portion of things that you can do for your business to improve your business. And what I'm going to share with you today is an article by entrepreneur.com on 5 tips to never miss a deadline. Now, deadlines can apply to your corporate environment, but deadlines can also apply to your home business, where you can set yourself your own deadlines. Remember, when you're in your own business, when you're in your MLM, network marketing, small business, brick and mortar, you are your own boss. So you have to manage your time management, you have to manage your productivity, and that helps a lot if you can set your own deadlines. So here are 5 tips. This is written by Stephen Key. He is a co-founder of Eventbrite and the author of the One Simple Idea series. So one of the tips, the first tip to never miss a deadline is to set goals and track your progress. So he suggests using a project tracker online. And what he talks about with these project trackers online, they keep us all on the same page. So this is if you're working within a group, but I'm sure that you can use this when you're working on your own. You can see what's due, who is responsible, what is due, when, and who is responsible. So if you're working within a team, you can do a project tracker online, and you set up the project and components of the project and who is in charge of that part of the project, when is it due, and who's responsible, okay? So he says here, what's good with some of these trackers is that you can put down what you accomplished each day, and even every hour is easily logged. So when a team member is falling behind, it's obvious, and somebody else who's gotten ahead can jump in and help in that team member. So that's good with those, with those project trackers online. Another tip to never miss a deadline is to have a plan B and a plan C. I don't know why I'm showing you these fingers. Anyway, but it's always good to have a plan B to your plan A, and even a plan B to back up your plan, a plan C to back up your plan B. So you can have a project that you want to work on, and you have your plan A to accomplish this project. But you also can think of worst case scenarios of what can happen if you can't do it. If you can't accomplish plan A, you're going to have backup plans, plan B and plan C, on something that you can fall on just in case you can't accomplish plan A. For instance, let's say you are going to do a very important webinar on video marketing, and it's set for said date, and you have an important special guest that's going to help bump up your webinar and give it more substance. And let's say, for instance, your guest is 20 minutes late to the webinar. Your guest emails you and says, okay, I have something that I have to get done. I won't be there with you at the start of the webinar. I'm going to be a little bit late. Is that okay? Okay. So this is just your scenarios that you're creating. Okay, I'm going to have content for 20 minutes until my special guest comes and joins me on the webinar. So that is having a backup plan B. Let's say, for instance, your special guest does not show up. Something happened and he could not make the webinar. So you need to have a plan C, and that plan C can be, okay, if my special guest does not show up to my webinar, I'm going to talk about said content and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to give some sort of consolation if my webinar attendees came specifically to see this special guest. So that will be your plan C, okay? Or I am going to be, if your webinar is a paid webinar and people came to see the special guest, maybe you'll give them a refund or a partial refund and promise them free admittance to your next webinar where you have solidified your special guest. And so this is an example of having backup plans to your original plan, all right? Give yourself some cushion. That is the third tip to never missing a deadline. You have to realize how much time do you really need to accomplish a task. Sometimes we tend to underestimate the time we need to complete a project. And a good way to figure out how long it takes for you to do certain things is to time yourself doing it. You can spend your day, especially if you work from home, just writing down. I started blogging. I started doing my blog at certain time, and then log when you complete it, publishing your blog and doing all the appropriate stuff for your blog. And I've done this, and I realized to actually write a proper blog and do all the things required for a proper blog or two takes me about 3 hours. So now that I know that it takes me that amount of time to write a blog, when I set up my schedule to write the next blog, I'm going to give myself some cushion so that I can complete all my tasks on time. So the same works for that. Okay. Okay. And this also goes with when you work in corporate. If somebody gives you a project and you give them a deadline, you're factoring in the time it takes to complete that entire project. And it also, when you give yourself some cushion, you can give them a little bit more time for you it takes to finish that project, but you're giving yourself that cushion just in case plan A falls through and you need to rely on plan B and plan C. So always give yourself some cushion when it comes to doing projects. Number 4 to never missing a deadline is to set explicit expectations. So it's best to establish very clear expectations with what you're doing, especially in writing, so people know what to expect from you. Because if you're very vague about your expectations about a project or something, people are just going to assume certain things, and then they're going to get upset when whatever you did not meet their expectations of what they were expecting from you. When you set your expectations, this is what's going to happen, and I don't guarantee A, B, and C, but I will give you D, E, and F, and you set those expectations in writing. People are clear on all fronts so that nobody is upset or disappointed or gets grumpy, because you set clear expectations and make sure they understand your expectations. So the example that the author gives here is that if you hire an outside contractor to work with you, does he or she know what is expected of them? Make sure. It's best to check regularly too. So if you're hiring an outside contractor to help you with a project, you're going to set the clear expectations, and then you're going to set up checkpoints during the project to check in on that contractor to make sure they are following through on what you asked them to do, and they understand what are the expectations of the project. Okay, and this also this also applies to, will they be meeting the deadline you set for them? Because when you set a checkpoint in between during the project, and they realize, okay, this is taking a little bit more than I expected, then you can add some cushion to the deadline, maybe extend it just a tad, but making sure that they're following through on what you told them to do, and they're fulfilling your expectations so that everything gets done in a timely manner. Okay? And the last tip to be meeting your deadlines is to be a leader. So when things go wiggy, keep your cool. Don't react to your circumstances, respond to them, take control of your circumstances. What the author talks about here is to let's be real. Let's not stop with the blame game. Focus on keeping morale high. Just, roll with the punches. So it's like planning for the worst to happen and always having a plan B and a plan C in place. And you can also plan how you would react if certain things go wrong. And that is to always keep your cool and to be the leader. Because things are going to go wiggy, things are going to go awry, monkey wrench is going to get thrown into your projects. And you have to realize that those things are going to happen so that you can behave accordingly. And it's best to respond better and control the situations rather than reacting and having a fit. And you don't want that. So that is the benefits of being a leader, is to think about what can go wrong. How are you going to respond to those situations and act accordingly? So I like to call that constructive worrying. Not worrying that it's going to debilitate you, but you are thinking ahead of what might happen. What are the plans? What are the plans that you can execute in that area? And how might you respond in such a situation? So once you have those set in place, and when things do go awry, you are prepared for it, just like this impending snowstorm. So we've all been preparing. We all are going to the supermarket and getting the things that we need to stock up our fridge, making sure we have flashlights and batteries and etc. And hoping and praying that we're going to weather the storm well. And preparation always counts on all fronts. So we've reached the end of this Monday Motivational Mindset webinar. I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're watching this replay and you enjoyed what I've shared with you, please feel free to share with others and to leave a comment below on how you found me. We can also continue the conversation on my blog, minagpolikibai.com. Thanks for stopping by. Have a happy Monday. If you are living on the East Coast and you are bracing for yourself for this blizzard, be safe, stay home, stay warm. See you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. This is Mina coming to you from New York City on Rise and Shine. Ready or not, let's do this. See you soon. Cheers. Bye.